Hi and welcome to video 2 for the week. This one's really short. We're only doing 2 examples. And this is solving unique quadratics part 2. And this is all related. You just have one worksheet for the week and you're doing select problems twice. So basically these directions are going to read, find all cube roots of the number. Okay. We're just doing 2 examples. Should be pretty easy. Our first example is number 1, and it says find the cube roots of that. You're kind of wondering, what does that mean? You just take the cube root of 1 and you get 1. No. There's actually more than that. I'm going to start with x cubed equals 1. All right. And you have a lot of different ways that you can solve equations. Factoring is a great way to solve it. But in this case, I didn't ask for real answers. I'm just assuming, every answer out there. So that also includes imaginary or complex answers. So I can't do the cube root of each side. I could only do the cube root of each side if I was just going to find real answers. But in this case, it says all cube roots. That includes the imaginary. That means I need to make it equal to 0 and to factor it. So x cubed minus 1 equals 0. Okay, we did something like this towards the end of the last video. So hopefully this isn't going to be as hard for you. And you know that this is going to factor into little parenthesis, big parenthesis. And I'll have minus, plus, plus. And I'll have an x and a 1. And I'm just following that formula in order to fill it out. All right, well, this one's pretty easy. X minus 1 equals 0. X will equal 1. That's one of the cube roots, and that's the real cubed root. This one over here, there's also answers that you can get, and these are going to be complex or imaginary. But in this case, I have to use the quadratic formula, and so that means if I'm going to use the quadratic formula, hopefully you have this thing memorized, because you did it in Algebra 1, you maybe reviewed it a little in geometry, we've talked a lot about it in Algebra 2, it will be here throughout all of math. So if I'm just going to fill this out, that's all I've done. So now I follow my order of operations in order to simplify this, and I'll get the square root of negative 3 over 2. And you guys remember that the square root of a negative turns it into an I. So now, if I look at what are all of my cube roots of this number, I'm going to have 1 and negative 1 plus or minus square root of 3i over 2. Okay, we're going to do one more. I'll go to a new piece of paper. And in this case, same directions, find all cube roots. I don't just mean the real ones, I mean the imaginary and the complex as well. So this tells me x cubed equals negative 216. I'll add 216 to each side. So x cubed plus 216 equals 0. All right, then I'll have a little parenthesis and a big parenthesis. And I'm just following the formula is all I'm doing. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. This one right here is easy for me to solve. This one is going to require the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Hopefully you're okay with some skipping of a few steps because I feel like we've earned that right. So x is going to be 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 36 times 4 is going to give me 144 all over 2. So this will be plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 144, negative 108 over 2. So of course you remember that the negative means imaginary. Now I've got to reduce 108, so I think 36 goes into 108, so 36 times 3. So this will give me 6 plus or minus 6 squared of 3i over 2. Hopefully you remember to check these things right here. So you know you're going to have 3 plus or minus 3 squared of 3i. So all of my roots for this are these. All right, that's it for videos this week and assignments. Good luck. Stay safe.